Hey guys, Coach Bobo here, and in this episode of Building the Swing, we're going to talk about the hike. I tend to see a lot of people deadlift the kettlebell up to go into their swing and begin to rock the body back and forth or pull their arms to try to get into the swing. Once the swing is initiated, then they'll kind of set themselves into place. Without the proper muscle groups engaged and a heavy enough weight, this is potential for injury. The starting position and the movement of the hike itself will help ensure that the proper muscle groups are engaged and prevent injuries. Before we go into this movement with a kettlebell, I like to demonstrate it just using your hands so you can at least get used to the motion, especially if it's something you've never done before. I'm going to use this kettlebell only as a placement reference. To start, I'm going to stand directly over the kettlebell with the handle of the kettlebell going mid-foot. I'm going to take one step back, putting about a foot between myself and the kettlebell. With my feet between hip and shoulder width apart, I'm going to sit my hips to the back of the room and bend my knees until I can reach that kettlebell. Again, I'm not using the kettlebell for this demonstration. I'm just going to make an arrow with my hands here. Similar to how a center lineman will hike the football to a quarterback, I'm going to pull my hands underneath myself, my hands pointing out between my legs, and extend through the knees. From here, I would go into my swing, squeezing my glutes, pushing my hips forward, and pushing the kettlebell and my arms to the top of the swing. As the weight of the kettlebell falls, I'll hinge my hips back again, making sure to put that kettlebell back between my legs and keeping it very close underneath me. To put the kettlebell back down, I will reverse the hike by bending my knees and extending my arms out to put it back into its starting position. Without the kettlebell, this is what that'll look like. When adding the kettlebell into the hike, you can choose to go into the swing or you can choose to practice the hike by itself. To set up with the kettlebell, I'm going to stand over the kettlebell with the handle passing midway of my foot. I'm going to take one step back, starting with my feet between hip and shoulder width apart. I'm going to hinge my hips back, bending the knees slightly, grabbing the handle, tilting it back till it's pointed towards me. From here, I'm going to bend that kettlebell in half to help engage my lats. And much like the center lineman passing the football to the quarterback, I'm going to pull that kettlebell up underneath me as that kettlebell passes underneath my legs. To put it back into its starting position, I'm going to pull it back out and let it touch its starting position. Now let's try it with the swing. Some things to note: if you have a friend that can watch from the side or a video camera to film yourself, make sure that you are extending through the knees, pulling that kettlebell up underneath you. Some will tend to pull the kettlebell back without extending the knees, causing lower pressure on that back, possibly your back even rounding, which is potential for injury. Big brace through the core, pulling that kettlebell up underneath me, extending my knees to make sure that it's as close to me as it can be. Also on the downward part of the swing, as the swing reaches the bottom, hinging, keeping the kettlebell up underneath me, and then again bending the knees to reach that starting position again. If you don't have a camera or a friend to watch from the side, here's a little trick for you. Grab a smaller kettlebell, place it just underneath you, even slightly behind. Whenever you hike, if you are extending through the knees, you should not hit the kettlebell underneath you. If you're not extending your knees, you will hit your kettlebell. I hope this helped you guys. Don't forget to like, share, save, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications for future videos. And as always, have fun.